Hello, and welcome to another edition of Paranormal Activity and Mysterious Stories. Got a lot to show you in this video, so let me just get right into it. The first video was not really, UFO related, but it's just a short video about what the U.S. Air Force wants you to think air combat will look like in 2030. It's a very interesting video, so I thought I'd show it. Let's see, and this video here, now, this is something that I actually saw a while ago, and it just recently came out again. And one of the reasons I never really showed it before or talked about it, because I wasn't too sure if this was real. See, some woman is claiming that this object here is some kind of giant UFO that blocked a sun flare from hitting the earth. But I don't know, I kind of think it's more lens flare or something on the screen, but I don't know. We'll play the video, check it out. And then let's see, another one is from Reddit, some UFOs dancing around in the night sky. And same thing with these. This might not necessarily be, it's definitely UFOs, right? Because we can't identify it, but whether it's extraterrestrial or something, completely out of the ordinary, I don't know. Yeah, but they do, dance around kind of interesting, or the way they dance around is kind of interesting. But we'll take a look at it, and let's see. Now, this one here, yeah, this is UFOs over Mexico. It's UFO filmed live twice on Instagram in Mexico by two different people. Now here you can see this image of this light, but yeah, well, here's a video. We'll play that, and then I'm not really a Fox News watcher, but the saying, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I think here Tucker Carlson, kind of gets it right when he wonders when the government would finally tell us about aliens. We'll watch that. And then Russian scientists claimed to find extraterrestrial life on Venus. Yeah, I don't know if anyone or people were aware of this, but in the 1980s, Russia sent a probe, I think it was called the Venera Project, in 83 or 86, and they actually landed on the moon, on Venus and took photos. So, talk about that here, show you some of the images. And then last, this is an example of what I believe is an example of counterintelligence. If anyone is aware of counterintelligence, it's a way of, there's many different forms, but one of the forms of counterintelligence is to throw in a lot of ridiculous information in with real information, and that way it's sort of like dilutes the credibility of everything else when you find something that's so outrageous. And this is an ex-CIA agent who claimed that aliens kidnap more than 1 million people every single year, and that's based on his 2,000 alien abduction cases that he studied in his 38-year career. But so we'll take a look at that. Let me just read this. As part of a broader initiative to invigorate its advanced science and technology work and promote increased partnership with academia, the U.S. Air Force has released a short video depicting how it thinks aerial warfare might look like by the end of the next decade. It's a futuristic, but in many ways, incomplete vision full of advanced stealthy manned jets, semi-autonomous unmanned combat air vehicles, lasers, and other directed energy weapons, and a potentially artificial intelligence-enabled network backbone that brings it all together. So, like I said, in the beginning, it really just talks about the history of the Air Force and, how it got to this point. And I think it's boring, but I just want to, get right to the point. But of course, I will leave a link to this article in the description. So if you do want to check out the whole thing, you can. So let's just take a look at what we got going here. Look at that, one man is controlling all those drones. I mean, they pretty much already have things like this. I think that thing is probably taking out the electrical networks or the grid.
Today's research is tomorrow's Air Force technology. The United States Air Force is seeking the next great research idea that will yield the next great Air Force capability. Help the Air Force invent the future today.
Yeah, kind of interesting, right? But you know, I believe that that we actually have a secret space force out there traveling around in space. This is nothing. Okay, so let's go with this other one here. Now, like I said, this one, I'm not really sure if this is really real, but I'll put it out there. You know, people, you can make your own decisions about that. Let me just read what it says here. Strange things happen daily, but as weird as everything gets, we never expected things to get as weird as this. A new discovery was made by NASA themselves, one that sounds a bit too fantastical to say the least. A huge UFO has been spotted in between Earth and the Sun, just strolling by, enjoying the view. Not only that, according to their official statements, this UFO was not even paying attention to us in the slightest. It was just minding its business, trying to avoid a huge solar storm that was heading our way. Immediately after these pictures were made public, Soho made sure that none of it gets out, removing all of the pictures almost instantly and shutting down all 6 of the solar observatories across the globe. In doing so, they made sure that the world would never know the truth behind it all. It is a sad day indeed, but one that quickly reminded us why we're so against the superiors in our society. Check out the video below. So yeah, let's play some of this video here. Now, you know what? No, this is a 17-minute video. It kind of repeats, but let me just show you the woman who claims to have found these. This, Gina Maria Colvin Hill, September 12th, 2018, Salem, Indiana. It appears that within the 2-hour difference from the first photo, which was taken at 8:22 a.m. and the second one at 10:11 a.m., that the egg-shaped planet had the other object attach itself to it. Compare this morning's photo and tonight's photo, and you will see for yourself, or just look at the video. So let's take
and I was able to pick something up, and I was able to see what was to the left of the, I'm going to turn this around, the left of this. And look, we've got more things right here. More of this. And more ships.
You know, now, the little ships, that is hard to explain. That I wouldn't doubt could be out there, but those other giant things that she's saying, to me, that looks more like some type of lens flare.
There's that little frequency thing right there also. I'm going to turn up this volume. Well, there's that frequency thing right there. Yeah, but these ships, they're in like a different formation. They're all over the place. And there really is so many of them. And we can see that they're clearly ships. They got this black stuff on them. But I thought that was pretty neat just seeing more of these things right here on the side of this object, whatever this is, this egg shape, and all these ships. This was the best photo that I had that had the most detail in it, but I've posted these on my timeline, and I tried to get a picture of all the ships that were around it and stuff. And there's gobs of ships out there. And Gina, how are you catching these? I don't know.
Yeah,
There is no human explanation.
To me, those ships could be stars, and maybe it's a long exposure, and that's why you get that movement or something. But the rest of this video is essentially the same. It's just her saying that these little things are UFOs. And then like this thing here is supposed to be. Let me see. She talks about it here.
Someone called them. And yeah, I mean, I like to do infrared, but you know what? This has a lot more excitement to it, and there's not much to get in infrared today. This is cloudy and overcast, but look at those frequency symbols. Whatever those things are, I don't know what they are. Now, yeah, this is below it. Just look at them. This is all from one picture, and I've included the original photo on here. I really have. They're just everywhere. And they appear to be the same type. These right here, these blacks and white, I think they're up there in the clouds at times too.
No, you see, I think the ones that she's talking about here, I think that, there's, or it's elongated because it's a long exposure. I think. I don't know, but of course, I'll leave a link to this page in the description. You want to check it out? Check it out. So now let's go to, this is from Reddit. This is definitely interesting. There's, yeah, I always look for movements that you normally wouldn't see, or, wouldn't think something that we made, that was man-made, would be capable of. Yeah, this to me, it just looks more like three drones flying around. Three lights dancing around approximately 4 miles off. Roll of lights below are street lamps. Yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, but I'll leave a link. You can check it out. Tell me what you think in the comments. Okay, now here's this one here, and I definitely think these are real. Here's what the person eyewitness who saw this UFO encounter wrote with the video at the time of doing the actual live Instagram video. Today, October 28th, 2018, I witnessed 5 UFOs hovering over Rosarito, Baja California, Mexico at around 4:23 a.m. I was driving back to San Diego, California with my grandmother. We were having a normal conversation when she suddenly went mute, and all she could do was point at the sky. I look up and I see 5 of these things hovering over our homes and the beach. I pulled over and immediately went live on Instagram to avoid speculation of video editing and such. Okay, let's take a look at this video here. Let's go live.
¿Detrás de La Palma? Estamos aquí en vivo en Rosarito y no sé si alcanzan a mirar, pero hay un chingo de ovnis aquí a la verga. Hay uno. Wow, me están dando escalofríos esta madre.
Yeah, those aren't street lights.
Un chingo de policías por todos lados. A ver, ¿cuántos hay? ¿Cuántos hay? Hay varios, abuelita, hay varios. Estamos aquí en Rosarito en vivo y hay un chingo de ovnis por todos lados. No se mueven. Ahí hay otro, mira. What the fuck? ¿Qué pedo? No, hey. Abuelita, diga lo que está pasando aquí.
Pues ahí hay un montón de ovnis, se están moviendo en vivo.
Ahí está uno, dos, ahí está otro el fondo, mira. Ahí está otro el fondo, mira. Es 1, 2, 3 y atrás de la palma. Oh, y atrás de la palma otro. 4. Y estamos aquí en vivo en Rosarito. A la verga, ¿no?
Yeah, now this isn't the first time that people have captured something like this. And I'm going to say it again. If I don't know if this is for first time watching one of my videos, but I don't think these things are visiting. I think we always see these things because they're our neighbors. I think they've always been here. They've always lived in our oceans or deep earth caverns, and I think the powers that be have known that. I think they've been brainwashing us, into jumping to the conclusion that they're visitors, when there's most of the planet is unexplored by us. At least, I mean, I don't know. I definitely think that there are people within certain levels of the government that are completely aware of everything going on. But, Joe or morons like me, we're not going, or, I'm not going to be privy to what's actually going on. Oh, this is it. Wait, both of these videos shows UFO in order as he starts to count them, have the idea. So this is a different one. Oh, no, this is the same video. He's just counting them. But yeah, I don't want to, play the same video over. I'll leave a link in the description. You want to check this out. So let's go to this Tucker video. Again, I'm not a real Fox News fan, but if Tucker Carlson is talking about something, if he's telling the truth, I can't deny that. Okay, let's see what Tucker Carlson has to say about this here. Let's go widescreen here.
So realize this is not about politics or COVID-19, but it's still worth knowing about, and it's been undercovered. Scientists have discovered phosphine gas in the clouds above Venus, the planet. They say that's significant because microbes on Earth produce that gas. This suggests that alien life is somehow surviving in the atmosphere of Venus, even though the planet's surface appears from here to be a wasteland. So what does this mean exactly? Nick Pope is a UFO expert. He's a former UK Ministry of Defense official. We're happy to have him on tonight. Nick, thanks for coming on. So why is this a significant story? What does it suggest?
Well, this is amazing news, and I think people will look back at today and say, maybe this is when we found out that we're not alone. And the implications are vast, because life has arisen apparently not once, but twice in our solar system. And if that's the case, life isn't some sort of cosmic miracle or accident. It should be commonplace in the universe.
Well, that has all kinds of implications for us, and it may tie directly to your life's work, what you study primarily, which is unexplained sightings in our atmosphere. So how should we respond to this?
Well, I would like to see the president talking to NASA and saying, let's do a flagship mission to Venus. Let's go and investigate, and maybe even, very carefully, take some samples from the atmosphere and bring it back. I mean, if there's alien life there, let's study it. Like I say, very carefully.
Yeah, I mean, I would say as an instinctive defender of the status quo, that gives me some pause. I mean, we couldn't contain, or the Chinese couldn't contain the coronavirus. We really want alien microbes banging around Earth? Would that make you nervous?
Yeah, I guess the Venus flu would be something to be very worried about. So it would take careful planning. But I mean, yeah, this is a great day for science, and yeah, the implications for
Yeah,
the
hear
UFO
me.
phenomenon too. It's interesting that this news hit just really days after the news about Commander David Fravor talking about the Tic Tac incident again, and saying that the radar jamming that occurred there was, as he put it, an act of war. I think these stories are connected, and people are interested in this.
I have to ask this every time you come on. How long do you think the U.S. government continue to keep up the pose and the veil of secrecy? How long before we can just know what our leaders know?
Well, I get the impression we're building up to something, hopefully not long now. I would love to see a question about this, by the way, today's discovery and UFOs. I'd love to see a question at one of the presidential debates, and let's face.
Yeah, I think he's right that this, again, like I said before, this is a slow acclimation, getting us ready for, some great big announcement. But, for me personally, I don't need the government to tell me what I already know. We're not alone in the universe, and I don't believe we're alone on this planet. But, I find interesting is these guys are talking about, whether or not we should be bringing back samples from Venus when Russia did go there. Here, check this out. Russian scientists claim to find extraterrestrial life on Venus. The Space Research Institute of the Russian Academy of Sciences published a series of photographs taken by the Venera probe, which allegedly shows evidence of living organisms on Venus, one of the most inhospitable places for humans in the solar system. Yeah, see, this is it. That for humans, it's inhospitable for us. But what about a different life form or an advanced life form that has learned to build structures that can withstand, any of these inhospitable environments? Venus, the second planet from the sun, is the most similar planet in our solar system in terms of size and structure to Earth. In terms of the surface, it is anything but Earth-like. It is the hottest planet in the solar system, mainly due to its atmosphere, which is 97% carbon dioxide, a heat-trapping greenhouse gas. The constant temperature on Venus is 480 degrees Celsius, a temperature which is hot enough to melt lead, and it even hotter than the nearest planet to the sun, Mercury. According to an explanation by Leonard, I'm not even going to try to say this guy's last name, a doctor of physical and mathematical science at the Institute for Space Research, the images taken 30 years ago reveal the moment an extremely strange object on the surface of Venus. Let me see if I can make this image large. No. According to an explanation, NASA quickly went on to debunk the discovery. As explained, the disk that is seen moving on the surface is a lens cap, and the scorpion-like creature proposed by Kasan Formality is actually noise in the second-hand picture, which isn't present in the original image. Kasan Formality believes that in the images, a scorpion-shaped creature, a disk, and a black flap are visible moving in front of the onboard camera of the Venera 13. Let's see this thing. So this guy is saying this object here is some kind of creature on Venus. I think the Americans got it right. I think it's noise. According to reports from a Russian news agency, Kasan Formality explained in an article for the Russian journal Solar System Research magazine They all emerge, fluctuate, and disappear. What if we forgot about the current theories about the non-existence of life on Venus? Let's boldly suggest that the object's morphological features would allow us to say that they are living, he added. Let's see. He says, they all emerge, fluctuate, and disappear. I would say the emerging, fluctuation, and disappearing is most likely the camera lens trying to focus on something, on an edge of the surface of the rock. But American counterparts seem to firmly disagree with Kassan Formality. Ted Struck, who is a photo analyst at NASA, says it is more likely that the disc Kassan Formality is talking about could have come from the spacecraft. Yeah, this is definitely from the spacecraft. Venera 13 had two cameras, one in front and one in back. The one image shows the front camera lens cap and the other shows the rear camera lens cap, not one lens cap that moved, he says. Look at this image. Yeah, this looks more like, yeah, this is the surface of Venus. Yeah, this is the Venera probe. NASA says there is no way that anything can survive on Venus today. However, scientists have not ruled out that once in the distant past, Venus might have supported life, in a time when the planet might have had giant oceans and possibly life before the greenhouse effect created the temperatures that rule over the planet today. So apparently this guy's saying this area, something moved over here. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, this is stupid. If the surface of the temperature is super hot, I'm gonna bet that there's there's heat coming up off the surface, and if something like this guy says, it emerges, fluctuates, and disappears, that's probably from the heat coming up off the surface, or in the camera's inability to focus correctly. Well, anyways, if you want to read more about this, I'll leave a link. Okay, let's go to the last one here. This to me is an example of counterintelligence, or one form of counterintelligence where, the people who don't want this information out put out some ridiculous information in order to discredit all the other valid information. So let me read this intro here real quick. Ex-CIA agent claimed that aliens kidnap more than 1 million people every year. A former CIA agent named Daryl Sims had investigated more than 2,000 alien abduction cases in his 38-year career. Being a CIA agent, he had access to some classified information, which he decided to share with the public. The ex-CIA officer also had an interest in ufology and investigated many cases that are associated with the abduction of people by alien representatives. Sims warned that most aliens are aggressive creatures, so we should be wary of meeting them. For the past several decades, supporters of the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations have been saying that representatives of alien civilizations have long been kidnapping people in order to conduct experiments. In an interview with the YouTube channel Human TV, the video was deleted later, Sims claimed that he knows 7 types of humanoids, among which there are greys and creatures that, according to their external data, are very similar to humans. Moreover, Daryl claims that some of the aliens were creatures on our planet with human DNA. The researchers of extraterrestrial civilizations said that some people, after being abducted, enthusiastically speak of their experiences and talk about the incredible technologies of extraterrestrial races. Quite often, such people do not even realize that they have been inspired by the positive aspects of meeting with aliens, so they are unable to speak the truth. There are also people who had their memory erased, so they cannot remember that they were abducted and carried out various experiments. Sims claimed to know more than 2,000 cases of abductions of people by aliens, but he was sure that about 1 million people is abducted every year. 1 million people? Yeah, see, I find that hard to believe, just based on 2,000 cases that this guy claims. The ufologist also spoke about his personal experiences of abduction by aliens when he was only 4 years old. According to Sims, the aliens tried to alter his childhood memories, making him believe that he saw a clown and trying to make him forget about the meeting of the abductions. Yeah, this guy seems more like a grifter. It's
Fascinating nouns extra.
All right, so I have your Contact in the Desert, 2019. I'm here with Daryl Sims. I promised you. We talked about Daryl. You got alien implants. These are real alien implants. You brought his collection as promised. You did bring the whole thing here. There's quite a collection here. What's going on here? Let's see some of the ones we talked about. We talked about a triangle one.
These are kind of more interesting, I think, for your audience tonight.
Let's see.
Because this was a couple of men and women, friends, who went to Area 51 to camp. Not a good idea.
No.
So he comes back in the middle of the night. She says, "What's wrong with you?" And he says, "I don't know. It's called missing time."
Yeah.
"Where are you living?" "I don't know."
Oh my God. One time I pulled this giant booger out of my nose and it was an alien implant. Yeah, oh, this is ridiculous. Yeah, so anyways, I'll put in a link to this if you want a good laugh. But that's going to be it for this video. If you like stuff like this, please like this, please share it. And if you're new, definitely subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.